Hey everybody, Kyle, not your average finance guy. I wanted to come to you today with a question that I got, and the question was, about the infinite banking policy, and they said, why would you have to use this insurance policy? Why don't you just take the money and put it into a savings account? And you can do that. That's fine if you don't want to do the infinite banking policy, but I'll show you right here why it's way better to do the infinite banking policy. But what I'll show you here is, say you got $10,000 a year that you want to save, and if you throw that $10,000 a year into a savings account, obviously in year one you're gonna have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So what I did is I ran this out for 21 years. Okay, running this out for 21 years, that's $210,000 that you would have put into this. So in 21 years, yeah, it's way down the road, right? We can't think past this weekend, but in 21 years you will have how much money? And keep in mind that the bank accounts right now are paying about 0.6% interest. So what I did was I put it into this calculator site here. I'll put the link. I play with this all the time. But what I did was I put in $10,000 amount. That's a yearly amount. Okay. And so we've got this for I did it for 21 years. We've got $210,000 of deposits that we put in at a 0.6% interest rate. And since we put in 210,000 with that interest rate, at the end of 21 years, we've got $224,471. Okay, so not bad. We made $14,000, almost $14,500 in interest. So that's better than a kick in the face, right? So, all right, what are you going to do with this? So let's say in 21 years, I want to buy this farm ground, and I'm going to buy the farm ground and I'm going to rent it out, and it's going to pay you, I don't know, $2,000 a year. So now you can keep putting your $10,000 a year back into the savings account plus the $2,000 a year from the cash flow. So you'd be putting $12,000 a year. But what happens to the next year? Next year you have $12,000, right? And here's the back to the first year of the $10,000 case, and you made 60 bucks on that. So even if it's 12,000, 24, 36, 48, as you go along that route, when you take this money and you invest it, or you buy a boat or a house or whatever it is that you want to buy, it's gone, right? You no longer, you only make 6% on what is in that account. If you take that money out of the account, you spend it. All right, now say you don't take the whole thing. Say you take 200,000. Now you're only making 6% on $24,000. Now you're not making anything again. So that's the main difference between a savings account and an infinite banking policy. So here is an actual illustration for an infinite banking policy. And in this situation, everything is different here. But this was ran for a male 25-year-old. So in 21 years, this person would have put in $210,000 of premium outlay. So the same as what we did over here in the savings account. We put in $210,000, same amount of time. Here's the total net cash value, $345,723. Okay, $345,000. Is that higher or lower than $224,000? Okay, we did nothing different. We put $10,000 a year in. We did nothing different. Put 210,000 in. We got 224 out. Over here, we put 210 in. We have 345,000. It is not our money, but we can borrow against it. Okay, this is a lot like your house. So if your house, say this is your beautiful little house, and say you've got it paid off. You don't have a mortgage on it, no payments, but it's worth, say, $350,000. Okay, now you go to the bank and say, I'd like a home equity line of credit, and they'll give you up to maybe 90% of the value of this house. So are they going to come with a chainsaw and cut off 90% of this house and take it and leave you to live in a corner of this upper bedroom and maybe the kitchen over here in the bottom and a little bit of the basement? No, they leave everything intact, right? You may have a line of credit against $345,000, so you can borrow $345,000. You can buy that farm ground. You can still make your $2,000 a year, and you have to make the payments back now on your home equity line of credit, right? So what if next year your house goes up in value, and hopefully the next year after that your house goes up in value, your house goes up in value. So that's exactly what this is with the infinite banking policy. This is your house value right here, your total net cash value. That's the value of your policy. So your value of your policy keeps going up and up and up every year. Yes, you're putting $10,000 of premium into it, but look at how much it goes up. In the 22nd year, you've put $10,000 into it, but it went up by $28,700. Okay, almost $30,000. The next year, it hits $30,000. The year after that, it goes up by almost $32,000, $33,000. So every year, this keeps going up, 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 higher and higher, because you don't take this money out. It always stays in there. You only borrow against it, kind of like the line of credit, okay? So a long story short, I know this was the hardest part to comprehend and understand, that your money really is working in two places at once, and you're not making a killing over here. It's 6-point-some% interest is what the dividends were this year. So, I mean, it's better than 0.6 at a savings account all day long, okay? There are way better investments out there. I've heard people, making, 30+% investments. But what if you take this money where you're guaranteed, now this is non-guaranteed money, this is at the actual dividend rate, but they've been paying dividends every year for like 200 years, really since the Civil War. So you're probably going to get that. But even if they don't pay the dividends, they are still contractually obligated to pay you, like, it depends on your policy, like 2 to 3%. So 2 to 3% isn't much, but it's still way more than the 0.6 from your savings account over here. So either which way you look at it, if you're just saving money, I mean, this is totally the way to go. Now, say you know how to get into one of these 30%, great investments, and wouldn't it be nice to have access to $345,000 after 20 years? And you can, if you want, you can take a $100,000 loan and put it into something a little lucrative that, if you have a good feeling about. I'm not telling you what to invest in, that you have to figure that stuff out. But if you could do that, you now have access, because you've been plugging away $10,000 a year, you have access to about $345,000, okay? Where if you just put it in your bank, after 21 years, you have access to $224,000. If you use it, it's gone. All right. Over here, if you take out a loan for $300,000, your cash value will still go up by this number the following year. Okay. Now, yes, you have a loan against that. Whatever loan you took out, you're going to have to pay that. I think the rate right now is like 5.6% interest that you have to pay back. So, but if you take that out and you buy something that cash flows, you take that extra cash flow, you dump it right back in here, and then say you get it paid back by year 31. Okay, now you don't owe anything anymore. You now have access to $715,000. Okay, and look, that year it went up by $46,000, and you still only put in 10. Okay, and the way this policy was drawn up, they only have you go until age 70. It's like, all right, you're retired, you're not putting anything else in, and they actually have you taking out an income of $118,000 a year for the next, 10 plus, okay, all the way down here until you're 90, okay? They got you taking money out of it. That's just the way this one's designed. You can design it any which way. I mean, obviously, what I say when you're a 25-year-old kid, and what he does when he's 71 years old is going to be way different. But these are some of the possibilities. So wanted to get that out there, why I think this, if you're gonna be saving money, this is obviously the way to do it. If you're saving up for something, hopefully an investment, an asset to keep your financial house in order, and keep growing that cash flow and keep everything rolling. So wanted to show this to everybody. Hope it helps, and please let me know if you have any questions. And good luck, everybody. Thank you.